In the mists of ancient Italy, amidst the rugged hills and quiet groves, there lay a land where legends breathed and lived alongside men. The origins of Rome, shrouded in myths of gods and heroes, are told in stories passed down through generations, where the line between legend and reality blurs. Here, we step back to a time long before the Republic, before emperors and mighty legions, to a place touched by divine intervention and marked by fated encounters. It began with Aeneas, a hero of Troy, who escaped the burning city with his father on his back and his son at his side. Guided by the will of the gods, Aeneas wandered far and wide across the seas, battling storms sent by vengeful deities and seeking a new home for his people. The gods whispered to him of a land where he would lay the foundations for a great nation, a land that would one day rule the world. Aeneas' journey was not a simple one. He landed on foreign shores, only to encounter resistance from those who inhabited the Italian peninsula. But with the favor of the gods, Aeneas forged alliances and eventually wedded Lavinia, the daughter of King Latinus, binding his Trojan bloodline to the royal lineage of Italy. His followers founded the city of Lavinium, a small settlement near the coast, where they began a new chapter far from the ruins of Troy. Yet, Aeneas was more than just a mortal man in the eyes of the Romans. He was a son of Venus, goddess of love and beauty, and his journey carried the divine promise of Rome's future. Romans looked to Aeneas as their forefather, believing that his strength, piety, and loyalty to the gods ran through their veins, connecting them to both earth and heaven. In truth, historians struggle to confirm the existence of Aeneas. No archaeological traces have confirmed his journey or his fabled city of Lavinium, but the story of Aeneas gave early Rome a sense of divine destiny. It bound them to the legends of ancient Greece, suggesting that Rome, like Troy, had a part to play in the epic stories of the world. Generations passed after Aeneas. New cities rose and fell, and among them was Alba Longa, a city of Latin origin that was said to be founded by Aeneas' descendants. Here, another story of destiny and divine intervention unfolded, the tale of Romulus and Remus. The kingdom of Alba Longa was ruled by King Numitor, a direct descendant of Aeneas. Yet power is a fickle friend, and Numitor's throne was usurped by his own brother, Amulius, who, fearing a challenge to his rule, cast out Numitor and forced his daughter, Rhea Silvia, into a life of chastity as a Vestal virgin. But fate, in its mysterious ways, had other plans. Mars, the god of war, looked upon Rhea Silvia and fell for her beauty. In a union of mortal and divine, Rhea bore twin sons, Romulus and Remus. When Amulius learned of their birth, his fear grew. A prophecy warned that the children of Rhea would restore Numitor's line and overthrow him. The tyrant ordered the infants to be cast into the Tiber River, hoping the waters would silence any challenge to his power. Yet the gods intervened. The river, swollen but calm, carried the twins safely to the shores, where they were discovered by a she-wolf, who suckled them as if they were her own. Soon after, a shepherd named Faustulus found the boys and, with his wife, raised them as sons. They grew strong and fearless, unaware of their royal blood and the legacy that awaited them. As young men, Romulus and Remus became leaders among the local youths, renowned for their bravery and resourcefulness. It wasn't long before their true lineage came to light. Upon learning of their birthright, they raised an army, confronted Amulius, and restored Numitor to the throne. But Romulus and Remus were not content with Alba Longa. They sought a new city, a place of their own where they could leave their mark on the world. Guided by omens and the flight of birds, they found a location on the banks of the Tiber, a site surrounded by 7 hills. Yet the twins disagreed on who should lead this new settlement, and rivalry turned to violence. In a fateful clash, Romulus struck down Remus, becoming the sole founder of Rome in 753 BCE. This dramatic tale, often recounted with a mix of awe and horror, is remembered as the moment Rome was born. The fratricide of Romulus and Remus speaks to the fierce loyalty Rome demanded from its citizens. Loyalty not to family, but to the city itself. Archaeologists have long sought the true origins of Rome, hoping to separate fact from fable. The earliest evidence suggests that long before Romulus and Remus, the 7 hills of Rome were home to small settlements. clusters of huts occupied by the Latins. The Palatine Hill, in particular, shows signs of continuous habitation dating back to the 10th century BCE, centuries before Rome's legendary founding date. The Latins were a humble people, shepherds and farmers who tilled the fertile land of central Italy. Their villages were small, simple, and practical, consisting of wooden huts with thatched roofs. Yet these villages had an unusual quality. They were close-knit and united. Over time, they formed a loose federation, bound by trade, marriage, and religious festivals. This unity, perhaps more than any divine intervention, laid the groundwork for Rome's rise. Historians believe that the true founding of Rome likely involved the unification of these villages. Rather than a single moment of creation, Rome's rise was a gradual process, the result of cooperation among the Latin tribes. And while Romulus may be a legendary figure, his name and story symbolize the collective spirit of these early settlers who forged a new kind of community, one that would grow into a powerful city. As Rome grew, so too did its need for organization and leadership. This was the era of the Seven Kings, rulers who, according to tradition, established the institutions, customs, and practices that would define Roman society for centuries. Though these kings may not have existed in the form that later stories describe, their legacy shaped the city in profound ways. Romulus, the first king, was said to be both a warrior and a builder. According to tradition, he fortified the Palatine Hill, establishing Rome's first defenses. He also created the Roman Senate, a council of elders who advised him in governance, laying the foundation for Rome's future political system. One of Romulus's most famous acts was the rape of the Sabine women, a dramatic and controversial story that highlights Rome's early struggle for survival. Facing a shortage of women, Romulus invited the neighboring Sabines to a festival, only to abduct their women and make them Roman wives. This act led to war, but in the end, the Sabine women themselves intervened, convincing both sides to make peace and unite. The story, while troubling, emphasizes Rome's desire for growth and its willingness to forge alliances by any means necessary. After Romulus's mysterious disappearance, the throne passed to Numa Pompilius, a king known for his wisdom and piety. Numa was a Sabine by birth, and his reign is remembered as a time of peace and religious reform. He is credited with establishing many of Rome's sacred institutions, including the Vestal Virgins, the cult of Janus, and the priesthoods that would serve Rome's gods. Numa's influence was profound. Under his guidance, Romans learned to honor their gods, seeking divine favor through rituals and sacrifices. The religious practices he established gave Romans a sense of identity and purpose, binding them to their city with spiritual ties. Though historians question the historical accuracy of Numa's contributions, his story reflects Rome's deep commitment to religion and tradition. Rome's third king, Tullus Hostilius, was the opposite of Numa. A warrior at heart, Tullus sought to expand Rome's power through conquest. His reign was marked by conflict with Alba Longa, the city founded by Aeneas' descendants. The tension between Rome and Alba Longa culminated in a legendary duel between three Roman brothers, the Horatii, and three Alban brothers, the Curiatii. The Horatii emerged victorious, securing Rome's dominance over Alba Longa. But Tullus's thirst for power ultimately led to disaster. According to legend, he offended the gods through his impiety, and Rome was struck by a terrible plague. Tullus's death was seen as a divine punishment, a reminder of the importance of piety and respect for the gods. As the dust settles on the legendary origins of Rome, a city born from myth, conflict, and determination, its future begins to take shape. From the early struggles of its kings to the heroic feats that would lay the groundwork for its eventual dominance across the ancient world, Rome is poised for greatness. But Rome's story is far from over. As the centuries unfold, the seeds planted in the blood-soaked soil of its birth will sprout into a republic of remarkable innovation and political complexity. New heroes, from soldiers to statesmen, will rise to meet the challenges of a city growing in power, ambition, and influence. Conflicts will escalate, alliances will be forged, and betrayals will unfold in the shadows of its imperial walls. In the chapters that follow, the transformation of Rome from a fledgling republic into the undisputed empire of the ancient world will captivate the imagination. The foundations of Roman law, the struggle for democracy, the rise of its legendary legions, and the cataclysmic wars that will redefine the Mediterranean world all lie ahead. So, stay with us, for the story of Rome, filled with its triumphs, tragedies, and legends, is only just beginning. The next chapter is waiting, and it promises to be as grand as the empire itself. The journey to empire has only just begun. How will Rome rise next? Until then, keep your eyes on the horizon. The future of Rome is about to unfold.